Hey guys, Livy here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we've just gotten back from Costco and I thought that I would show you everything that I've got, but I'll also tack onto this video my usual Woolworths and Aldi haul for the week. That'll be in a few days in the future, but I thought I would show you everything just before I put it all away so you can see, because some of this stuff I'm actually planning on using for some of the meal prep that I'm going to be doing during this week. This video you'll see before the meal prep, but I'm going to split the days up and do a whole bunch of different cooking and stuff. Very excited for it, but it needs to be done because baby's coming soon, which is why I'm a little bit out of breath all the time. Let's just get right on into it tonight. This here is everything that I picked up from Costco today. It doesn't look like a heap, but that's just Costco for you. In the end, I spent a little bit less than I was planning on, which is great, but I also didn't get everything that I usually get. So I'll have to pick some stuff up from Woolworths this week to supplement, but I will show you, starting over this end, what we got. So I'm completely out of brown onions, which I didn't realize, and that's a crime. So I picked up just their giant thing of onions. We will get through this. Plus, I want to do a bunch of freezer prep for some meals, and I know I'm going to need a whole bunch of onions. So I'll probably chop them all up in the food processor and stuff, maybe freeze a bunch. Either way, they'll store pretty darn well. So I got some and they looked pretty darn good. So I picked up this giant one. Over here I have some ground beef. Now I've been picking up pork at the moment. So it's $10.99 a kilo, but I will use all of this in my plans for meal prep this coming week. It's not for this week, but I will meal prep it this week for future meals. So I have a whole plan put in place. I knew I needed to get a whole bunch of it, so I grabbed just a giant pack. Usually I would get one of these and I would separate them out into different sections, pop them in the freezer, but all of this will be used in meal prep. Back here we have some Nuttelex. I like to get this giant one because we just use this as our butter. My husband's dairy-free. It's just easier. I cook with it. I also toast and sandwiches and whatever. This is what I go for. Usually I would go just the normal Nuttelex, but they only had buttery available, which is totally fine. Back here I've got the Harvest Snaps. This was one of their specials. I think they were down a couple of dollars, maybe $4.50, which is great. There's 50 in here, and this will just be like an everyday snack. This is something that I can't make, so whenever it does go on special, I tend to go and grab it. Down here I have 60 eggs, which is a huge amount of eggs. My chickens aren't laying right now. It's just too chilly for them. And I have a whole bunch of breakfast freezer prep that I want to do, and I needed eggs. So I grabbed 2 of them, which is a lot, but I think that when I actually do my breakfast meal prep, that pretty much all of this will be gone anyway. The Laughing Cow, this is something that I just pop into the fridge for my kids. There's 48 of these wedges. My kids really enjoy this. It's a nice, easy snack, like something on the side of lunch or something, which is great. This was on there marked down as well. I think a couple of dollars off, which is perfect for me. I only ever buy it when it is a little bit off as well. I haven't bought Vegemite in a very long time, and I usually buy this giant pack here. We don't go through a lot, and it took us a couple of years to get through our last one, but we're completely out, so took the plunge, and we will do another one, and we'll see how many years this one lasts. We decided not to get as much meat as we were planning and as much as we budgeted for, partly because I've already got a meal plan in place, and things like steak I would usually pick up, or some cuts of meat that my husband could use on the barbecue, but instead we wanted to go with some tofu, and so I'm going to be cooking a lot with tofu. I like to mix it with my meats. I don't just cook a meal completely out of tofu, and we actually really enjoy it, and my kids like it too, and they don't really notice that it's a plant-based product, but it's pretty darn good. So I picked up just the regular firm from Costco. At the back here we have some Cosmic Crisp. You guys have seen in all of my all of my grocery hauls at the moment from Woolworths. We've been eating a heap of them, and these ones are pretty darn giant, actually, to be completely fair. But they were $1 cheaper a kilo at Costco. So I went looking and I found these ones are kind of the smallest ones, but my son can smash one of these, and these are his favorites. So while they're in season, I picked some up. Over here, some tortillas. I picked up the 3-pack of them. They have 12 in each of them. They're not huge, but in Australia, this is kind of the standard size. So I plan on doing a whole bunch of breakfast burritos, and I will use these up for the breakfast prep. We'll probably keep one of the packs for like just if we do a Mexican style dish or something, but the rest of them are planning to be burritos, which would be good. Back here is the staple. We always get it. There's just something so yum about the bagels, and they come in the 2-pack as part of their deal. So I picked up 2 of them. I'm actually planning on making bagels, but I know that we will go through one of these and probably some of the bagels that I'm going to make, and I really want to make as many of the breakfast bagels as I can. So this will just kind of supplement off of whatever we eat extra, so that we can have it now and we don't have to worry about going into our stash just yet. Down here, they had their chicken breast down, I think $1.50 per kilo. So I picked up 2 of them, which is exactly what I needed for all the meal prep that I have planned. We tend to eat a lot more chicken in this house, so when I was planning all the meals that I want to prep for the freezer for baby, a lot of them are chicken breasts. So whatever I don't end up using for my meal prep will just be vacuum sealed and popped into the freezer. And we'll go through it. It's pretty easy to do. So this and this one will be probably sorted this week, which is good. I think we've got a bit of time before they need to be used up anyway, which is good. Over here is some streaky bacon. I actually prefer the bacon that I get from Woolworths. I don't know the brand. I cannot pronounce it for the life of me, but this was $16 a kilo, while I'm usually paying like $23 a kilo at the deli at Woolworths for them. So for the breakfast sandwiches, I'm going to use the streaky bacon. It's not our absolute favorite, but it is still really good. So don't mind just to cheap out on it so that I can do a big batch of things. Streaky bacon is delicious. It's not something common in Australia. We do a little bit more middle bacon or short bacon, but for sandwiches and things, this is kind of our go-to. And the final thing that we picked up is something we always get every time we go to Costco, and that is dog food. We like the Kirkland brand because there is no grain in it, and I swear this is so much better for my dog. His breath does not smell gross, and I account that for the grain-free life that he lives, so we don't need it. But I'm not planning on going to Costco before baby's born. So that's like the next 4 weeks. So just pick one up, add it to our stash, and we should be good. So that is everything that I picked up from Costco. And I think majority of this stuff will be used in meal prep. I think maybe the apples for fresh eating and the tofu and the Vegemite and things, probably not. But the rest of it, yes, we will be doing some big meal prep, and I will walk you through that a little bit later. It's Wednesday, which means it's my usual grocery shop, but this is not the usual grocery haul that I'm showing you. So you've just seen my Costco haul from the weekend, and what I'm going to show you today is what I specifically picked up for this big meal planning prep thing that I'm doing for the freezer, which I'm going to get started pretty much right after this, but that will be a different video for you guys. I went to Woolworths, I went to Aldi, a mixture of the two. I will point out if I remember what comes from where. I just kind of mixed it all behind me, so you know, it's just a little bit easier. I've already packed about half the groceries away, and in saying that, I did keep in budget for my usual weekly grocery shop, even though I was picking up things for this big freezer planning. So I am very tired because it was a long day of shopping, but I've got a heap more stuff to do, so let's just jump right into it. This is all that I've picked up for specifically the freezer meal prep. I will show you what it is, and I will kind of give you an idea of what I plan on doing with it. So starting over here in my produce, spinach, I'm just going to shove spinach pretty much wherever I can. I am going to use some of it tonight for dinner, but I really want to put some of it in like chicken and broccoli pasta. Might put some in my chicken stroganoff. Pretty much wherever I can. I'm going to slice them up and just add some extra goodness. Down here I've got some beans. This is specific for, I'm making a cottage pie, which I'm only doing individual servings of that because not everybody likes it or wants it. So I've got some beans, and I will not use all of this for the freezer prep. Some of this will be for during the week. Over here I got 3 big things of broccoli. I'm making a chicken and broccoli pasta dish to sit in the freezer, and I needed quite a bit of it. I also have a plan to, I think I'm making 3 of them. One of them is going to be for later in the week too, so needed to make sure I had enough. Down here I have some capsicum duo. This was a special by Aldi, which is good because I needed some capsicum. Now it technically needed red, but green, red, it's fine. I think it's just a color thing, so I will use this for, I think the enchiladas needs it, and potentially one more I can't remember off the top of my head. Back here I have sweet potato. I am making a cottage pie and a fish pie. I don't think I'll make the fish pie tonight, but I will make the cottage pie, and I'm going to use some sweet potato with it and mix that with potatoes because that's just delicious to me, and I think it's really good for me, which I needed a whole bunch of potatoes as well, so I picked up the really big bag from Aldi. Yes, these need a wash, but I got a giant sink, so that's going to work great. Over here, I picked up 3 things of passata. Now, I think some of this is going to go into enchiladas, potentially spaghetti sauce, the butter chicken, and there might be one more, but I have some in my cupboard. But yes, I really needed to pick up a couple more, and I prefer the organic one. This is just, I think it tastes better. Personally, that's my opinion on it, so that's why I picked that one up. I picked up just some salsa. This is going to go potentially in the enchiladas. And I needed this beef bouillon. I think it is for the beef stroganoff. I think I might have potentially need to put some in the enchiladas. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I didn't have any stock powder, so I figured rather than buy beef stock, I'll use some of the powder. Now this beef chuck casserole, this is actually what I plan on using for the beef stroganoff, which I usually wouldn't use a chuck, but the price is really good, and I'm going to try and cut around some of the fat, and I know low and slow will really help this to be delicious, so that's the plan for this one. I bought a heap of eggs from Costco, but I still needed more. Part of those eggs are going to go for the breakfast prep, which I'm not doing today. I'm hopefully doing later on, but some of it will need to be for tonight, and also just for baking as well. So we'd already been getting into those eggs, and so I just wanted to make sure I had enough for everything that I needed to do. Back here I have some chicken stock. This is just the chicken flavor. I prefer to buy the actual chicken stock. I've made some, but I'm not sure if it's going to be any good. So I've picked up just this one, just to make sure I've got something on hand. Back here, refried beans. This is for the enchiladas. I'm following a recipe, which is why I needed refried. I've got kidney beans, black beans, and cannellini beans. This is all pretty much going into my chili, which I love chili. I'm going to make some chili, and I'm going to make it in individual servings because not everybody likes chili again. Corn, I think that's going in the enchiladas and the chili as well. And because I'm doubling the recipe for the enchiladas, I needed 2 things of corn, and then that one will go to the chili. Back here I have 3 diced tomatoes. Again, similar to the passata, I think potentially enchiladas, spaghetti sauce, trying to think what else. I can't remember, but I've got it all written down, so I made sure to pick some up. Down here is that Japanese curry mix. You saw me make that a few videos back. Delicious, love it. So I picked one up, and I'm going to make this into individual servings for my husband so that he can have something really yum during, like in case people buy us or bring us stuff and it's got dairy in it, he doesn't have to fuss. For the chicken and broccoli pasta, I needed some penne because I don't actually have any penne. So I picked that up, and that will be used for them. I think I might end up using a little bit of some whole grain as well. I need to make 3 of them, so 1 for each, and then I will check what I've got in my stash to kind of just throw in. Over here, I've got some thickened plant cream. This will go in things like the chicken and broccoli because I'll make a sauce out of it. I will also use it for the butter chicken and the beef stroganoff and the chicken stroganoff. So there's a couple of things that I needed, and they were on 40% off, I think. So I picked up 2. Now down here, I picked up this cheddar cheese. This is just one that I will use for slicing, but also I might shred some up. I'm thinking it would be really yum to mix it with some of the things like the enchiladas again, but I might make some pizza as well, and so I just wanted to make sure I had that on hand. The sour cream, that will be split between the thickened cream as well, towards the enchiladas and also to the butter chicken maybe, and both chicken and beef stroganoff. Cheddar cheese, that will go on everything and anything that it can go on that I'm using cheese as a replacement for. And down here is a vintage cheese. Because I'm making a cottage pie and I know my husband does not like it, and a fish pie, I bought some actual cheese that I really like so that I can add it to mine. And that is pretty much everything that I needed to buy, because the rest of it I have in my pantry, which is great. I'm gonna go and pack this stuff away, and then I am going to just take stock of what I need to get started for this freezer prep that I want to do, and it's going to be split over several days because there's no way I'm exhausted now just from shopping. There's no way I'm not going to be exhausted from doing everything that needs to be done for this freezer prep, but I'm excited. I also did pick up some trays with lids. I got them from just some foil ones. I got them from Abco, which is kind of a local second store, and they do like a party and like cleaning supply. And so I drove down to check that place out, and I picked up about 10 trays, which hopefully will be enough for everything that I want to get done. I do have some extra individual ones, so I'm going to use them for the smaller portions, but otherwise that is hopefully going to be everything that I need to start this freezer prep. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like the video and comment. I will be doing this freezer prep, and that will be coming up in different videos because I'm going to split them up between just different days and just different categories, because there's no way. I'm very heavily pregnant. I'm very tired. So I'm just going to do my best, but I will post those ones up and you guys can see what recipes I plan on making and how successful I am and how many meals I plan on getting. I'm hoping a month's worth is kind of my goal. So we'll do a month's worth of freezer prep, knowing that, you know, we might not use it all within that month, but it's just going to alleviate some of the, I guess, stress and work that comes from being a mum when I'm going to have a newborn. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.